Hello, English learners. Before you listen, I want to ask you one simple question. Do you ever feel too late? Like, too late to learn English? Too late to change your life? Too late to start again? If you feel slow, if you feel tired, if you feel like others are already ahead of you, please don't leave. This is not a lesson. This is a story. A story about a man who thought he was too late and why he was wrong. Stay with me. There was a man named Elon. Elon was not rich and he was not famous. He was not very young either. Elon was 35 years old and he lived a simple life. Every morning he woke up early, not because he loved mornings, but because life demanded it. He washed his face, drank a cup of tea, and looked at his phone in silence. On his phone, he saw people speaking English confidently, people traveling to different countries, people working in big offices, and people smiling in front of cameras. Elon smiled too, but his smile was quiet. Inside his heart, something felt heavy. Every morning, he said the same words to himself, very softly, almost like a secret. I am too late. When Elon was a student, he had a small dream. He wanted to learn English. He liked the sound of the language, and he enjoyed English songs and movies. He imagined himself speaking English without fear. But life slowly became busy. There were family responsibilities, money problems, work pressure, and daily stress. English waited patiently, but Elon never returned. Years passed quietly. Now, when Elon heard English, his heart felt tight. He believed others were better than him. He believed he was slow. He believed his English was bad. Because of these thoughts, he stayed quiet and avoided speaking whenever he could. One evening, after a long day, Elon stood at a bus stop. The bus was late, the sky was dark, and people around him looked tired and silent. Next to Elon stood an old man. The man looked calm, peaceful, and relaxed. After a few moments, the old man smiled and asked gently, "Long day?" Elon nodded and replied softly, "Yes." The old man then asked, "Where are you going?" Elon answered, "Home." The old man smiled again and said, "We are all going home." Elon did not fully understand the meaning, but the words felt warm and stayed in his mind. As they waited, the old man looked at Elon and asked a question Elon did not expect. "What do you want to do in life?" Elon felt surprised. No one had asked him that in a long time. He stayed silent for a moment, took a breath, and finally said, "I want to speak English." Saying the words felt heavy but honest. The old man nodded and asked, "Why don't you?" Elon looked down and replied, "I am too late." The old man laughed softly, not in a mocking way, but in a kind and understanding way. The old man then said, "Let me tell you something. I learned English at 60. Elon looked up in shock and asked, 60? The old man smiled and said, "Yes, slowly, very slowly." He continued, "I spoke badly. I made many mistakes. People laughed sometimes, but I continued." At that moment, the bus arrived, but Elon did not move. The old man stood up to leave and said one last thing before walking away. "You are not late. You are just early for your next life." The bus doors closed, and Elon sat alone, but the words stayed with him. That night, Elon could not sleep. The sentence repeated in his mind again and again. Not late. Next life. He picked up his phone and searched for slow English listening. a calm voice started speaking slowly. Elon listened carefully. He did not understand everything, but he understood a little. That little understanding made him feel something new. It gave him hope. The next morning, Elon did something different. He looked at himself and spoke aloud for the first time in a long while. "Good morning," he said. His voice was weak, and the words were slow, but they were real. He smiled. It was a small smile, but it came from his heart. Some days after that were difficult. Words felt confusing, and sounds were hard to catch. Sometimes he wanted to stop, but then he remembered the old man's voice and the word slowly. So he continued. Only 5 minutes a day. Just 5. Weeks passed, and Elon began to understand more. Not everything, but more than before. He started speaking more, too. Not perfectly, but bravely. One day at work, a foreign client spoke in English. Elon listened carefully. His heart beat fast, but he understood the message. He answered with simple and clear words. The client smiled. That smile stayed with Elon all day. That night, Elon stood in front of the mirror and spoke to himself. "I am learning," he said. "I am not late. I am on my way." His eyes felt warm, and his heart felt lighter. English slowly became part of his daily life. One sentence in the morning, one short video in the evening, one thought before sleep. There was no pressure and no race, just slow movement forward. 1 year later, Elon stood again at the same bus stop. This time, someone next to him looked tired and sad. The person said quietly, "I am too late." Elon smiled kindly and said, "No, you are just starting." If you are listening to this story now, remember this. You are not slow. You are not weak. You are not late. You are learning, and that is enough. Say this softly with me. I am not late. I am learning. I will continue. Your journey has already begun. Every time you listen to English, every time you try to speak, every time you come back again, you are becoming stronger. You are learning, you are growing, and you are moving forward, even if it feels slow. So be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself, and most important, do not stop. If you are still here, thank you. Thank you for giving your time. Thank you for listening to Elon's story. Thank you for staying until the end. Keep learning, keep going. You are on your way. Thank you once again. See you in the next story.